At once. Affirmative. At once. Yes, sir. Very well.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. At once.
Waiting order. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. At once. Very well. At once. Affirmative. At once. Yes, sir. Very well.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Acknowledged. Of course. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Reinforcements have arrived. First objective met.
Comrade. Affirmative.
10 minutes
Affirmative.
remaining.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Reporting. Acknowledged. Comrade. Affirmative. 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 Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Comrade. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Reporting. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Reinforcements have arrived.
Affirmative. Waiting. Affirmative. Reporting. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Waiting. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Reporting. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative.
Vehicle report. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Waiting. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Waiting order. Acknowledged.
Awaiting or acknowledged?
Report. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Waiting order. Affirmative. Reporting. Report. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Report. Affirmative. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Reporting. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Warning, 5 minutes remaining.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Reporting. Acknowledged.
Comrade, acknowledged. Comrade, affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. 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 Waiting
Warning,
order. Affirmative.
4 minutes remaining.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Reporting. Acknowledged. Waiting order. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Awaiting.
Acknowledged.
Acknowledged.
Comrade, affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Reporting. Affirmative.
Warning, 3 minutes remaining.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir.
Reporting. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Comrade, affirmative.
Reporting. Acknowledged. Awaiting orders. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Reporting.
Yes, sir.
Warning, 2
Vehicle
minutes
reporting.
remaining.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Report. Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Naval unit lost.
Acknowledged.
Waiting acknowledged.
Warning, 1
Affirmative.
minute remaining.
Reporting. Vehicle reporting. Acknowledged.
Comrade, acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Reinforcements have arrived.
Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Reporting. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Reinforcements have arrived.
Acknowledged. Waiting order. Acknowledged. Reporting. Acknowledged. Reporting. Affirmative.
Reinforcements have arrived.
Vehicle reporting. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Report. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Waiting.
Unit lost. Lost.
Affirmative. Comrade, affirmative. Acknowledged. Comrade,
Yes, sir.
affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Awaiting orders. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Comrade, acknowledged. Waiting order. Affirmative.
Awaiting orders. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Unit lost.
Vehicle reporting.
Affirmative. Affirmative.
Acknowledged.
Affirmative.
Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Affirmative.
Acknowledged. 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 Acknowledged.
Affirmative.
Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Unit lost.
Yes, sir.
Affirmative.
Acknowledged.
Affirmative.
Unit
Reporting.
lost.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Comrade, acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Reinforcements
Affirmative.
have arrived.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Yes, sir.
Unit lost.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Yes, sir.
Unit lost.
Affirmative. Yes, sir.
Unit lost.
Acknowledged.
Unit lost.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Vehicle reporting. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Awaiting acknowledged. Yes, sir. Vehicle reporting. Acknowledged.
Reporting. Acknowledged.
Reporting. Affirmative. At once. At once.
Got juice? Let's dance.
Yes, sir.
Let's
Yes,
dance.
sir. Reporting. Very well. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir.
Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Reinforcements have arrived.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Reporting.
Affirmative.
Acknowledged.
Need a job? Power on. Let's dance.
Awaiting
Affirmative.
orders. Vehicle reporting.
Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Reporting. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Unit lost.
Need a job? Right now.
Unit lost.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir.
Unit
Affirmative.
lost.
Yes, sir.
Affirmative. Victory. Don't you? Let's dance.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Reporting. Affirmative. Awaiting orders. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Ready and waiting. Affirmative. Awaiting
Affirmative.
orders.
Affirmative.
Acknowledged. 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 Yes, sir. Affirmative. Awaiting orders. Yes, sir. At once. Waiting orders. Affirmative. Reporting. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Lost.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Affirmative.
Lost.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Comrade, affirmative.
Vehicle reporting.
Affirmative.
Yes, sir.
Affirmative. Affirmative.
Acknowledged. Awaiting orders. Acknowledged.
Affirmative. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Affirmative. Affirmative.
Acknowledged. Awaiting orders. Acknowledged.
Affirmative. 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 Affirmative.
Acknowledged.
Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Power on, baby.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. At once. Affirmative. Very well.
Unit lost.
Burn, baby, burn.
Comrade, affirmative.
You extra.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Ready and affirmative. At once. Very well. Affirmative. Agreed. Affirmative. Very well. Very well. Affirmative. Very well. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Awaiting acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Affirmative.
Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Affirmative.
Awaiting orders. Agreed. Affirmative. Vehicle reporting.
Affirmative.
Acknowledged.
Affirmative.
Waiting order. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Acknowledged. At once. Affirmative. Agreed. Awaiting orders.
No juice? Power on.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Yes, sir.
Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Reporting. Reporting. At once. At once. At once. Affirmative.
Vehicle reporting. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir.
Awaiting orders.
Mission accomplished.